Welcome to the Solemn Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Today we are going over the top 10 most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards of 2020. Now if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Now I'm well aware 2020 isn't done yet, so this list may have to expand as we get closer to the end of the year. However, I did find it interesting to just cover already anyway. Now do note, I say 2020, this means these cards need to have sold in this year. Yes, sure, the Blackluster Soldier tournament promo is worth millions, you guys, but it hasn't sold. So how can we know? Now, if you personally saw another sale or were part of another sale that was even bigger, let me know. I can't track the entire internet, but these were the ones I could find so far. Now, first of all, we do have 3 honorable mentions because, you know, some of these prices get quite close and I did want to just throw them in there. We have Dark End Dragon, the Shonen Jump prize card, which sold raw for over $4,200 on eBay. We also saw a PSA 10 first edition Ghost Rare Rainbow Dragon sell for $4,500. And finally, for our honorable mentions, we had the Dark Magician Girl stainless limited edition frame Japanese also sell for $4,500. Now those were the honorable mentions, so yes, every other card on this list will be more expensive. So for number 10, and this is the only shared place on this list, we actually have 4 cards that all sold for the exact same price. With, you know, quite some weeks between each other, I just thought it was very funny. First we have the PSA 5 Crush Card Virus Shonen Jump prize card. That's right, PSA 5, that is the lowest we have on this list. It sold for a whopping $4,999. Now we got that bad boy out of the bank's vault just for this video, but that card is right here. This is that one PSA 5. Sadly, the other sales on this list are not mine specifically, but I just wanted to notice it because it's pretty funny. So that was $4,999, and then we have another card for that exact same price, a PSA 10 first edition GLAS Necroface. This spooky card was so hard to pull in Gladiator's Assault because that set had so many secret rares that sure, maybe you pulled a secret rare, but was it a Necroface? Likely not. Beyond that, it was super meta, that format, and so it's a very, very iconic wanted card. Once again, for $4,999, we also had a PSA 10 first edition Ghost Rare of Majestic Star Dragon. This is a bit of a weird one. It's not the first synchro you think of when you think of expensive cards, but yes, quite some of these Ghost Rares are quite valuable. Finally, we had, once again, for the same price, a BGS 9.5 DDS Blue Eyes sell for $4,999. Moving on to number 9, we had a raw first edition LOB Blue Ice White Dragon sell for $5,200. Now of course, Blue Ice White Dragon is the iconic monster in this series, so if we had to find this game's Black Lotus, this game's Charizard, Blue Ice White Dragon is very likely gonna be the one. Now, which Blue Eyes it will be, LOB, DDS, SDK, some people still argue. Regardless, it is pretty obvious why all 3 will be on this list selling for very, very solid prices. Number 8 on this list is a PSA 9 Gold Sarcophagus Shonen Jump prize card selling for $7,999. Once again, a Shonen Jump prize card taking names and kicking butts in the pricing department. These cards were only given out to high placing people, usually winners of major events, and these major events weren't all that common. So usually there's only between 40 and, in the very higher end, 120 copies of these cards created in the world in the first place. That, however, was between 10 and 15 years ago. So many of these cards were destroyed over time. Grading didn't exist yet, and so they weren't preserved. So despite already having a very low amount of cards of these, most of them also got destroyed, and so by now they are more rare than ever. Number 7 on this list, a raw Cyberstein, once again Shonen Jump prize card. This bad boy sold for over $10,000, and yes, raw, so they still need to get graded. We'll see what happens with that, but given the condition this card was in on the back, I don't expect it to be of the highest grade. Cyberstein was the very first Shonen Jump prize card, and it also had quite a reputation back then for being way too overpowered. This was also the first emergency banning for that reason, and so now the card is extremely iconic, at least towards people who were very into the game. So that, together with being the first one, really adds to its prestige as a card. Number 6, we have a PSA 10 Starter Deck Kaiba First Edition Blue Eyes White Dragon. This card sold for $10,600. And once again, it is a Blue Eyes, and it is the Blue Eyes every little child owned. You bought a starter deck, and you had one. You didn't necessarily have the first edition, however, because those were extremely rare. You had that one nonetheless, and so many kids were super attached to their copies of this card. In my opinion, this is the most nostalgic one, because once again, this was the one we all owned, until of course, every single kid destroyed it, and now, in perfect condition, they are mega rare. Next on this list, we have number 5. We have the PSA 10 DDS Blue Eyes White Dragon, once again a Blue Eyes, selling for $13,600. This card has the same art as the starter deck Kaiba, so you do have that same nostalgic connection. However, the foiling is very, very different. So some people might find this extra special because of that special foiling. Number 4, the PSA 10 Cyberstein. Once again, Shonen Jump prize card. So yes, we've had Stein on this list before, but that was raw. This was the PSA 10 sale going for $15,000. Once again, only 126 of this confirmed exist, but that was in 2004, 2005, 2006. Ever since then, they've all been destroyed, and so by now, having one in perfect condition is nigh impossible. Number 3, another raw card, this time something very special, a Worlds prize card. The seller was Robbie Cole, otherwise known as MCole40, and the price was a whopping $16,000. As far as I'm aware, it was sold to Yugioh Black Market because they did also post some pictures of it, so that's what I'm assuming went on, but it was indeed sold for that price. And despite not being graded, that does put it on number 3 of this list. Number 2 is a BGS 10, very rare, of once again Cyberstein, the Shonen Jump prize card. A BGS 10 is essentially the highest grade you can get. It is the hardest to get. One could argue, sure, a black label, but I don't actually believe a black label exists for this card. So BGS 10, the very highest grade of that Cyberstein in existence, sold for $18,400. Consider that on this top 10 list, 3 of the spots went to Cyberstein. And then finally on number 1, a PSA 10 First Edition LOB Blue Eyes White Dragon for $20,000. Once again, Blue Eyes White Dragon is very likely gonna be our Black Lotus or our Charizard, and so there is quite some people speculating on which one of the 3 main ones from 2002 it'll be. LOB, SDK or DDS. So far, LOB seems to be the winner, despite many people agreeing that the art actually isn't the most good looking one, and also not quite the most nostalgic one. However, it is in the very first Yu-Gi-Oh set, so there's quite some arguments there to be made. That was the top 10 most expensive cards of 2020 for the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. If you saw any other major sales going on, be sure to put them in the comments down below. I'm always really interested in learning about this market. Maybe there's some spicy sale that I didn't know about, but regardless, be sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.